Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you again so much for joining me here. This is a weekend analysis for Bitcoin, our old friend Bitcoin, holding strong in the 63,000 range. So this potential cup and handle pattern we have here is very tentative. You got to keep that in mind. But the truth is, if it does start channeling down, we do have a logical consideration for along with this ascending trend line in the 61.5 mark. That's also a pretty important level if you zoom out with the macro point of control, and a lot of reasons why that area is probably going to be a good pivot for us if it even pulls back to that level. The truth is we could actually see the price action start to channel or continue to channel throughout the weekend, and if we do maintain that channel, there's a solid chance we're going to be able to see a pretty healthy continuation to the upside, because again, these are generally bullish signs when you see that. So a channel is what we're looking for here. A lot of alts are responding well. Majority of them are moving up, and Bitcoin's really not doing all that much. That's a good sign. It kind of implies that with this Bitcoin dominance pulling back, altcoins are essentially getting back on track. There's a lot of them there. You're going to probably find a lot more luck taking longs right now with the altcoins this weekend than you would trying to short anything. Just keep that in mind. Granted, there's still potential for the pullback. We could see something funky, but generally, this being a weekend, we shouldn't experience a ton of crazy nonsense stuff. A quick little heads up, let's go ahead and pull this up just so you can kind of see what I'm referring to. This is the channel I'm talking about where we have a bullish rectangle. Hypothetically, the price moves and continues sideways here, tests the upper range 2 or 3 more times, we should be good to go. And the reason why that's beneficial is because we already have a previous resistance here. The more we continue to test that, the more likely we are to break. Okay, and if we combine that with some liquidation levels here, which we're going to go ahead and reload, we're going to see there's a lot of liquidation on the upside still. Okay, all the more incentive to destroy the shorts and essentially not consider shorting at this point. It just doesn't make a ton of sense. Again, the market is mostly bullish, responding very well, and trying to go against the grain doesn't make a ton of sense. So quickly look here, 64 upwards of 66,000, heavy concentration of recent shorts. Previous shorts too, we can also see as well, large amounts here. I mean, each one of these red lines is 10 billion. Each one of the yellow lines is between 5 to 7. You can do the math here on your own. Pretty much a new line every couple hundred, and we see that going all the way up to that 66,000 mark. All right, so again, a lot of reasons to not consider shorting at this point. You got to keep in mind too, though, there's a lot of resistance here as well. So that's the reason why people are shorting. It makes sense. It's logical at first. But now that the price action hasn't significantly pulled back and we're maintaining this range, it seems likely that we're going to see the price go sideways and up from here. Okay, again, especially how we're retesting this range. Once more, this is a weekend. You got to recognize that there's nothing foolproof about weekends. That's why I generally don't love trading them. But I got my eyes on a few altcoins today, honestly. So I'll be covering those here shortly. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few things here. Before we do, though, make sure you hit the like button, folks. Always hit the like button to help us grow the channel. Because, again, unfortunately, we had some issues with the YouTube channel, as you probably already know, where hackers took full advantage for a couple of days and made it some weird, funky MicroStrategy site. Anyways, back on track. Super happy to be back here. And thanks again for the awesome support. Everyone's been very, very cool about the whole thing. And it was nice to know how much I missed if it was only for about 24, 48 hours. All right, so Bitcoin here. We're at 63,100. We got all of our SMAs here on the chart. We can see 3 out of 4 are below us. The 200's above us, okay? So notoriously, it's a resistance range. So you got to keep in mind that we want to close above 64K to be like truly confirming. And we want a solid closure too, right? Because oftentimes when you break through key level resistance, the price will come up and it'll come back down and consolidate that area and then launch. That's what we're looking for. Between now and then, we could still see a pullback. I just want you to be prepared for it. If it does pull back, though, a consideration for a long or just more so a pivot point would be either this 0.786 fib level, which is holding so far so good, or of course the 60,500 range, that golden pocket. I think somewhere in the middle is going to be more likely, and I'll explain why here in a moment. In fact, just quickly note here, let's go ahead and zoom out so you can kind of see the macro. If we look at the larger time frames here, we kind of take a look at all the volume here, we can see the most amount of volume at the current price point, about 63,000. Okay, so we've got a lot of buying pressure at 63K. So that not only provides resistance, but also support. So the truth is, this is like kind of one of those pivot points where we're going to either take off or we're going to spend a little bit of time below this price and continue to build a base. Either way, I just want to kind of throw that out there and let you know that this is generally a favorable sign. Our trend strength index is very good. We got our really good MACD convergence still looking strong. We're seeing a second stochastic swing to the upside. It's trying to diverge, of course, which is very normal and natural when you see these cup and handle type of patterns forming or a retest or a previous resistance. I don't read into that because everything else is bullish. Keep in mind, using stochastic loosely with other indicators is beneficial, not by itself. So we do see stochastic, yes, slowing, losing its momentum. Obviously, that's happening. We've seen about 3 to 4 days of continuation with some slowing down here now. That really just tells us a lot in the sense that we are hitting a resistance. Sure, of course, we can see that. But every other indicator is implying we're in good shape. And take a look at this here. Money flow index is off the charts, up in the 70 plus range. Generally, when you see that, the likelihood of continuation is greater because there's more money flowing into this coin the last 14 days than previous. Okay, it's a very, very good sign. So a 4-hour time frame, quickly looking here. We're still above the 20-day SMA, which is great. We will eventually probably just, if we naturally range here, we'll be under the 20 at some point, or we may even hold the line there. Generally speaking, great to be above it. Not the worst thing ever. We've dropped below it. We want to be over the 50-day SMA at the very least. That's the important thing. Because if you look at this history here, ever since we've been above the 50, it's held like a champ, essentially pushing the price action higher. Specifically right here when it tried to drop but didn't. Okay, so that's all good there. The MACD's diverging, and so is stochastic, but it's now officially bottoming out, generally implying that, hey, we've had plenty of time to pull back. The price didn't pull back. We're more likely to leg up. Same thing here as well. You can say it multiple times and it's still the same. We got a strong consideration here for being over 50 in the RSI. I love to see that. That's really just a very bullish sign. Let's take a quick look here at the hourly and wrap this up here for you. And we can see that each Ichimoku cloud is holding. Okay, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want to see here. The lagging span is within the price action, but if we get even just a little bit of a leg up here, you'll see the same thing from the cloud, or sorry, the lagging span. And with the conversion line and the baseline being above and below, we can recognize that we're in pretty good shape. So again, this isn't like a perfect situation. This isn't like signaling a long position. It's just telling us that, hey, we're above the cloud, we're holding above that support level. Even when we break below it, we got a lot of confirming factors in the macro that are helping us be in good shape. So me personally, even if we see something like this, I think we're still okay to hit along in the 60K range. Okay, we may not even see that though, so you might want to consider averaging into your position and just considering again a long versus a short. While the price could still pull back, there's much more likelihood of the price going up than down. The last little thing to recognize here is a fair value gap right there, perfectly hugging that 60,700 mark, that 0.65 fib level. Okay, so again, I do think there's a small chance we'll see a pull back to that level. If so, we're going to go balls to the wall around 60,700 as a rough estimate. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if anyone feels the same way. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below. If you disagree, no worries. I love to hear it. There's no wrong thoughts. Just there is bad trading, and make sure that you're not one of those folks that follows these other gentlemen and probably ladies too that are just everything's going to the moon. While right now it is very true that a lot of things are looking very bullish. We're breaking a lot of resistances with altcoins that are looking like they're ready to flourish. That's good. Okay, just be careful. They're going to try to propose 20, 50, 100x leverage trades, and it's just not the right way to trade. Low leverage, low position size folks, you're going to thank me later. I know at some point you're going to probably be like, oh, I'm so pissed. I only took a 5x leverage trade. I could have got 500% on that. Yeah, but you could have got liquidated too, because that quick little wick will really destroy your account quickly, especially with liquidation being so tight. Anyways, conversation for another day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Appreciate all the wonderful support. You know who you are. Thank you. And we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Be on the lookout for our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I'm going to post a playout chart here shortly, giving you a heads up on what my thoughts are here. I'll tighten up the charts here in a minute. Thanks again, folks. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.